All right, y'all good?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Everybody excited?
Oh yeah.
Me too. So I've been able to chat with him for a little while this morning. Hung out in our staff meeting, and which I was late to, by the way. I apologize.
I took up for you.
You did. I came in. I was like, they got this under control. I wanted to go home. They didn't need me.
No, not
they had all kinds of stuff going on. So we met through some of this shocker, some of these events I do, where I meet like everybody. And Will's like a marketing, promoting, branding machine. He's built multiple agencies, companies. I'm now watching him build a massive real estate company. We're talking about how we can implement insurance into this thing. And he was like, we chatted on the phone, I don't know, a month ago, whatever it was. And we put out that thing like, hey, who wants to come up and talk to me? He was like, I'm in. He was like the first one to go, I'm in, I'll come. Knowing nothing about anything. And we started talking about stuff. And I'm like, dude, there's ways we can help our agency with his knowledge and his skill set and his services. And again, we've been talking forever about y'all doing social and promoting yourselves. And what's funny is, and his wife Naisha's here, they in real estate, it's like the agents don't do a great job of individually promoting themselves and branding themselves. And those that do have TV shows and sell a whole lot of real estate.
Yep.
And that's what we've been talking about to you guys about is like, how can you separate yourselves from the millions of other insurance agents out there? Yeah, we get leads. Ain't mad at that. But you can create a crazy business model and personal brand and things if you just start putting stuff out there. And he's here because he's an expert on it. I keep telling you stuff to do, but I'm like, it's working a little, but I ain't the pro. You know, so I'm like, heck, let's bring in a pro. Will, appreciate you being up here, dude, and sharing. I'm going to hang out. I don't know what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to get a front row seat and let you do your thing.
You can even ask me questions. I like the style.
Yeah, I mean, we can. Yeah, we can do that. We can be as interactive as you guys want. Obviously, he's never been to one of our trainings, and we're super casual about whatever.
I'm kind of glad I wore this. I didn't dress up.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
I was going to dress up today.
Were you? That would have been bad. I almost wore sweatpants today.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And Stephanie made me put on jeans, and I'm like, all right. And she tried to go for the polo, and I cut her off.
Right, see.
I'm like, I'm going to stick with a T-shirt today.
Because that's your brand. Every time I see you, got the V-neck.
Yeah, buddy.
And guess what's so funny? What do I wear all the time? Same. Yeah. I have a shirt I wear like this 5 years. I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
So I was coming here, and I'm ready for war. I'm ex-military. I see some veterans in their Army, 82nd Airborne. So I did 8 years. Staff sergeant, went to Iraq. Jumped out of plane 35 times, did all that cool stuff.
Man.
Now my back hurts.
How the knees?
But I'm good.
Knees too?
Everything.
All of it hurts?
Every day I get up is a different bone.
Yeah.
I know I look kind of young, old. A lot of you guys guess my age. I'll be 39 this year, right, babe? I'll be 39 this year. My daughter graduates high school. That's my high school sweetheart. We've been together 21 years, married 19 years. So I know I look young, but I'm kind of old, kind of young. Got it all going on, right?
Hey, that just makes me old.
That's it.
Some people say, I used to say I look young. I don't hear that much anymore.
So a lot of people say, I think you know how they say the old souls?
Yeah.
In business, I think I have an old soul because at my age, I'm usually the youngest in a meeting around billionaires telling them what to do with their companies. And I'm like, man, they actually listening.
How's that feel?
My wife hates this, but I thought it would feel better than it was supposed to.
I understand.
But actually, every time I feel, I was like, what can I do more to be more assistance to that person?
Yeah.
How can I do more? Okay, I did this. Let me get to this goal.
Yeah.
So I never even stop and say, man, I did it. So I guess that's that. I'm not a perfectionist, overachiever.
Yeah.
Naturally.
It's just part of the process, seems like.
But I think it's part of success, and you know it. You think you're going to reach one, you're like, when I reach that mill, I'm going to chill, probably retire, and then you're like, this is nothing. You know, I need more because the more you make, the more you have to support others. Yeah. And the more you support others, the more success you get. So it feels good at times. I think when I have my wife with me and my kids, for my kids to see it, because I grew up inner city. Yep. My mom and dad didn't raise me. My grandmother raised me. Going to church, and I didn't have a mom or dad. Yeah. So seeing my kids see their mom and their dad have their own business. I've been an entrepreneur. Military, worked in Dubai, 10 years entrepreneur. First generation, no help. You know how they always say, like, everyone has help? Yeah. My help was literally YouTube. Yeah. I looked at YouTube, and she can tell you, I trained myself. When the family went to sleep, I would literally stay up and just study any kind of videos, motivational, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then I'm good at, I think I just always been smart, honoring classes, things of that nature.
Hey.
So I've been self-driven my whole life, and I really made myself the entrepreneurship was always there, but I made myself very great at what I do. But I always looked crazy in my industry because I was always before time. Like I was thinking of stuff like experiential marketing. They're like, what is that, bro? Like, I just want a website, right? So I think I've always been ahead of my time when it came to branding, but it's because I love to learn, and you never stop learning.
Branding yourself been part of you building your business, or was it always branding others?
This was so funny. This is my first year branding myself.
Okay.
So I think that's the biggest thing. And you guys don't take what I'm saying for granted. Don't take what I'm saying and do it, because I'm gonna tell you what to do. Actually, because I did it backwards in a sense. And just how you see those, you know how you see those moguls like, take my class and boot camp, be like me. I almost did the opposite. I did the success of what it took to be who I am, and then I said, hey guys, look what I've done. Because most people, they do one thing and they're like, I can teach you how to do this. I basically love, you can either be famous or make money, right? They always say that. You got to choose one. I kind of chose in between because I kind of am both, right? And the reason why I say that is there's a lot of dirty work that behind the scenes when you're successful. People see the glitz and glamour, they see the travel, they see the big clients, but they don't see me waking up 3 a.m. even when I'm on vacation. This morning, I probably did about 25 tasks. Probably sent about 10 plus emails to
before you even got to my office.
Oh, before I got to the office. And then after our meeting, I taught agents.
You ain't stopped since I've seen you.
No. And I had I walked down the street to get a salad while taking like 5 phone calls. So people don't see that part. They just see me buying things, traveling with my wife, having these. But I'm like, you don't want my, you don't want.
It's the same in this business. I mean, a lot of people see the same stuff, and I'm like, hey, you know how many calls it is? It's no different. How do you think, what you know about insurance, and as we're talking, it's obviously very similar to real estate, similar 1099, independent. If they want to work, they work. If they don't, they don't. The ones that hustle the most make the most money. No one's confused by that. But how can they use social marketing, branding in today's world to expedite that process, you think?
And I'm going to surprise you, because just so you guys know, when I came from Dubai 10 years ago, my first network marketing company, I was the #1 recruiter for an insurance company, MLM, network marketing company. I helped recruit 600 agents. So I was a top recruiter in the company. It's no longer here. It was called QS2 at the moment. We recruited about 6,000 agents for that year. So that actually, insurance taught me to be this person.
Gotcha.
The stand up, working hard. So and I failed my test 3 times. So I do know a little about insurance because I failed my test 3 times. So
did you ever pass it?
No, I never. I failed by 1, and I said, I'm not.
So be clear, recruited 600 people and never passed.
Yeah, I never passed.
My man.
And I was actually recruiting licensed agents because they saw the strategy. They were like, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm going to follow him. And I'm like, all right. But I'm one of those guys, because the 82nd, you know how we go into war and combat, jump out of planes. We always jump into danger. I do the same thing in entrepreneurship. I build as I go. If I don't know about something, I'm going to be the most confident dummy in that industry. But until I become the expert. So if you first meet me, you're like, man, you've been in insurance, how long? Actually, I don't even have my license. But you should follow me. And they usually say, man, this is, bro, you get some amazing advice. So I actually did develop 6 steps that you guys can kind of utilize, because just like you said, with agents and what I'm seeing, so my agency, you see this company, LPT Realty, that's the company he's talking about. And RP Funding, Robert Palmer, you can reach him. He's a billionaire and more. He does lending, no closing costs. He's in Central Florida. Self-made billionaire, and Robert has everything else but a brokerage. The funny thing is about this story, and a lot of people don't know it, just like you say, how does it feel? I went after Robert for 7 years, and I'll show you during dinner. I went after this client for 7 years to be my client, even before I was this good. I just was like, hey man, let's work together.
So he's known locally to you,
Facebook. He's like the Mark Cuban locally.
Got it.
So I was like, hey man, I just want to work with you. This was before I was this good. I was like, and you could tell by the messaging, like, bro, you aren't even, this guy's a billionaire. You're like, hey, I have an event coming up. Let's talk. And this guy, but he's humble. So he was like, hey, Will, what's going on, brother? talk to my assistant. You know how it is.
Yeah.
He's really trying to not say no, but saying no to me. Yeah. And then this year he came to me personally and said, hey, Will, let's build, I need you now. And me and my wife, just like this company, we're number 5 in the company. And we're building a team. We have 120 agents now. We're the biggest team in the company. We have about 450 agents. But the funny thing about, like I was telling you, now seeing what you did, because when we met you and I showed you who I connected you, you're like, bro, my story is similar.
Yeah.
You guys are building almost the same thing we're building. But the funny thing is having a billionaire with a private jet, being able to go anywhere you want, being able to put whatever kind of resource behind you. I kind of had it's a cheat code I'm in right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But it comes from 10 years of sucking.
Yeah.
But who wants?
You're getting those fruits today of all the labor you put in.
No one really wants to suck. But to relate that into, they say I can touch this, right? Okay, I can. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know how to use it.
Let's see, I got
Look at that.
So I'm gonna give you guys a quick rebrand.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I did, brother. Don't worry.
Damn.
I got you. I'll take over, guys.
Amen.
Report to me, guys. I'm a quick learner, though. But he told me upstairs. So just to give you a quick background, I probably, and this is where I kind of learned how to brand and market for myself.
Yeah.
So for about 9 of those years, I worked for myself. I did major festivals. And what I kept seeing was I was able to basically take current news, take what I was doing, and mold it in a story so the news would pick me up every time. To the point where they said, you work here. Like, every time I came, I was like, hey, and like, they go, Will. Like, literally everybody in the news station knew me. And I befriended a couple of the hosts. So anytime I had an event or a concept, like,
give me an example.
I raised $250,000 this year right here, where you see right there.
Yep.
That's me at home during COVID. Raised $250,000 for an app. And I was able to say, hey, COVID hit. A lot of minority businesses went under because they didn't have the branding and stability and things of that nature. I pitched to the news. It was like, hey, we're going to feature your event. I want you to come on and talk about the event you're doing. I did a digital pop-up. You know how they do the pop-ups and you go to places? Yeah. I said, I've never seen a digital pop-up. So I had about 100 businesses, and I partnered with, and this came all up, like I woke up like, let's do it. Yeah, literally. It was and then what happened from that interview, I started the company because I did the interview, and I said, put founder of pop-ups. It wasn't a company, I lied. And then when the news came, I was like, I got to do this now. And I sat back, made a pitch deck and I got $250,000 to do this app company. That's awesome. I was able to basically become I'm like a local celebrity because I thought outside of just what I was doing. Yeah. And that's why you see the title of what I'm talking about is coloring us out the lines. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when you're in the industry, you're taught by your mentors to do things, like you. I already know your call, right? Call. You look on the call ID. If you don't see that, it's a call. You're doing it wrong. Is that what you teach you, right? Look, they're like, yeah. But the thing is, when you have a guy like me that I'm outside of your industry, I'm looking like, no, you don't. You can do it that way, yes, because what you're doing is a law of numbers with sales. Sure. So if you guys understand, you're in the sales industry. Real estate, insurance, you're a salesperson first. So I'm a sales, branding, and marketing person, so I'm able to understand all aspects. When I go to marketing companies, I know if I contact 100 clients, I may land 20, right? 5 of those may be big clients. Mm-hmm. So what he's telling you is, and that's a hard way. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Calling like that is kind of hard. A lot of people hate calling. I know that. So what I'm going to do today is show you guys how you can become spheres locally, so that people can start saying, man, you're the insurance person. And that's really what it has to be, because we know leads dry up. Yeah. Sometimes if you're not a calling person, because everyone has a weakness and a strength. If calling is not you're either going to pay for someone to call for you, right? Or you pay for a service that can do it, or you learn it yourself, or you leverage other things in the marketplace to learn how to bring leads all the time. Like when I'm sitting here, I have 10 emails. Hey, I need to work with you. But you only do that when you put yourself out there. I know probably 50% of the people, and I'm good at understanding, 50% of you hate social media, probably 80%, right? Who likes social media in here? Okay, Sam, about right. I can kind of tell. Yeah. But the funny thing is, a lot of people hate social media. I built my company 10 years ago from social media. 90% of all my money came from social media. This year, that client came because he saw me on social media, my buzz. So a billionaire came to me because of my social media.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why you hate social media, most of you guys. And I know I can see the older individuals up here, because you think social media is like junk. It's about fighting, drama, and things of that nature. Am I right? It's just drama. Everybody's in it to look at what their neighbors are doing, their family members. Yes, it can be that. But if you operate social media like a business, you can develop your page to be a page where you're talking to potential leads, talking to potential clients, developing that. If you whatever you develop your Facebook in that method, if you develop it like a business, it becomes a lead generating business to where you
Whether for clients or recruits, you do it both ways. Yeah.
Like you never have to leave it. When COVID hit, just so that you guys know, so I was doing major festivals when COVID hit. I didn't market for anyone because I was like, I'm making enough money. I get to sit home, watch my kids. I get to sit home. My kids come home. I take naps. I chill, and I send the same email all day. When COVID hit, I lost my business in 2 weeks because no more major events, right? Because I had a social media presence, I was able to literally.
I think we came on
On
board.
mine? I'm so aggressive.
Oh, I thought you wanted that.
He came on board?
No, you.
No, you did.
I'm back?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
I resurrected. Okay, I'm back. Let me say that. Resurrected from the dead. No, just playing. Let me stop. From that, I was able to use my social media and literally start a marketing agency like it took 2 weeks for me to cry, say, oh my God, I worked so hard for this business.
She's she
knows. Because I was doing what everybody else did with COVID, right? Watching CNN, seeing how many, or Fox or whatever you watch, seeing how many cases there were. Like, what the heck is COVID? First of all, because I was put your head down work, right? So I didn't even know it was going on until I was the last event in the state of Florida to get canceled. Literally, I got canceled a day before my event. Gotcha. Lost 40K, and events never came back. Yep. So at first I'm like, special events are too major to keep away. It's no way. Started doing my research. I kind of was like, you're an entrepreneur. You don't have the, the other people, work from home, we'll pay you. So I thought about it for 2 weeks, like, wait, bro, you can't chill like everybody else. Yeah. Like you got rent to pay, you got food, your family depends on you. I was able, because of my social media, to switch to a marketing agency. My first client was a political client running from state attorney. No way. And I was able to win that campaign just from my social media presence. After that client, in a month I had 30 clients marketing. Wow. Had so many clients. After Christmas, I had to stop because I was literally working right there, probably 20-some hours a day, going to sleep, waking up 3 a.m. like, I gotta do this again. 30 different clients, 30 different personalities. And it broke me down to the point of that's why I created the app, because I was like, how can I bring in more clients without doing not more work, but just systemizing it like we talked about.
There's only so far you're one guy.
And
there's only 24 hours.
And I was burning, but the money was there. I was able to sit home, make a lot of money. We were traveling, we were back. So the whole COVID, because of social media, I never had to not pay my rent. Yeah. And this is from entrepreneur. Yeah. And I was living in a pretty big house, so not missing a payment, not having to defer, not having to miss it, being able to provide for my family, that showed me like the importance of social media. So I'm telling you guys, even if you don't like it, just start it slowly. I'm gonna give you some tips on what to do. And I'm also give you tips on how to turn anything you're doing and kind of try to get on the news. It may work, but you just gotta listen to me. It may work, but even if it don't, just keep pitching. Yeah. One idea is gonna catch, but I'm gonna tell you how you pitch your ideas. Your idea cannot be personally like, hey, this is what I'm doing for me. Any idea you pitch on the news has to be for the community, either giving back, or it's a bigger cause than yourself, right? So remember that. So when you go to the news and say, hey, my name is John and I'm trying to get on the news myself, I'm like, nah, brother, your story is not good enough. So it always needs to be something bigger than yourself. And also when you pitch it, make sure you're talking like, I'm doing this because I want to impact this, and we'll get to that point. Yeah. But I wanted to tell you guys, when you're trying to pitch the papers, the news, whatever it may be, you tie in a good feeling moment. But another thing you do as well, let's say if a current event is happening, let's say, and I'm just going to make up something, a lake is polluted. Where we're at in what part of Georgia? Let's say that lake is pollution. You're going to say, hey, look, my team, whatever your team may be, your name of your group team, you do the same thing, right? Group or team. We're going to try to find a solution. We want to start raising money. We're going to clean up. If we know how to physically get trash or whatever it may be out, but we're going to pitch and tell the news like, hey, my team of 20, our solution is to raise money. We're going to go to Publix, whatever you may do. I'm just throwing stuff out there. You do it, but you're doing it in the name of that problem. What happens now, because that problem is being talked about, you're on the news, you're on the newspapers, and guess what? They're going to look at your company now and say, man, John does a lot. Because next thing you do that, you're going to do something else that's a newsworthy thing. Feeding the homeless, whatever it may be. My team is going to go out twice a month and feed the homeless. My team is going to go out twice a week and go cut random yards that may need cutting because they don't have the money. We're going to go cut. So you got to do things outside of what you do. And what happens now, people start looking at you like, hey, man, Mike's a good guy. Look at Mike. Look at Mike. And now Mike is not trying to sell you, but then Mike's going to do another post, because you always do family posts, business posts, cool posts, and you say, hey, who doesn't have mortgage protection? Yep. Man, I don't. Oh, Mike, man, you the good. Man, I love you, bro. I follow everything you do. I love to get a policy. You know what? My neighbor needs one. I think both of my neighbors, or they go in there, when you do your deal, hey, you think your neighbors, you can introduce me? Because the biggest, referrals, yes, referrals are great, but the biggest thing too is third-party recommendations always are better than you going to the actual client. So before you even go to that client, I say, hey, look, you think you can introduce me? Because what happens now, that relationship that they have, if they like the neighbor, if they don't, you're in trouble. No, just playing. But most likely what you do is say, hey, you have some family, put them in a three-way text with me and just introduce me, and I'll take it from there. So you can allow your public service, right, things you're doing publicly, to build that brand for you. But you got to think outside yourself, right? And you got to think long term. I think building a brand is almost like playing a garden. Everybody just like, I want my brand like this, and they want it tomorrow. They're like, I'm gonna be on the news tomorrow. Yeah, you can pay for that stuff, but it's gonna be instant and it goes away because you're not consistent. And when people see you consistent and grow, it's different than you paying to be out there, and they're like, oh, this person's fake. They had to pay because where did they come from? Out of nowhere, right? So that's what I say. Understand what you're doing now. Just keep building, being consistent on what you're doing, and the more your name get out there, I mean, your name. It's
like any level of success. It's putting in the work for years and years. You know what I mean? It's understanding the long-term potential and benefits
and it's not
of the actions today and where that will lead later. Like you said, maybe you hit the news once, but 10 years worth of work.
Could you make it this many times? And the amount of times we made it, we actually. So this Fun Spot is a local theme park in Orlando. A lot of you they have a Fun Spot in Atlanta now, actually.
Do they?
I forgot they expanded here. Okay. So that was my client in 2019. Yes, 2000. She said she don't know. 2019. That was my client, and they actually came to me because I developed the page. If you go on Facebook, it's called Pop-Ups. But I was changing the name for it. It was like festivals to do, pop-ups. I changed it because of the company.
Facebook group.
A Facebook page.
Got it.
And it has about 12,000 followers. And this is something organically I built. So all these people on that page like to go to festivals, events, eat food. They came to me because of my page and hired me for that year to develop events inside this theme park.
Got it.
So that's something, that was social media. Yeah. If I didn't have that social media, they would have never searched for me.
So, and they could create pages, get their current clients to go like it, comment on it, reviews, things like that, and with time, build it up, promote it locally.
Of course.
And then,
and what you got to do too, when you're developing your business pages, this is me not going to my steps, I'm just talking to you guys. You can do this. So do your name in your business, just like Willie Carey Insurance Guy. You know how you guys do that, right? Yeah. That's cool, but guess what? No person at home cares about your insurance page. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Yeah. The reason why my pop-ups page got popular is because I was talking about festivals, food, entertainment. What you have to do is develop a brand that encompasses something bigger than yourself. You may say, Carol, the food, whatever. You go around city tasting food, but then you're talking about insurance while you're tasting it or something like that. Hey, I'm eating food. Man, it's a new spot, guys. You should check it out. Let me give you a little bit about more. Just throw it in there. What happens now, people see the food. Man, this is some delicious food. But then they're getting your content indirectly. instead of just saying like, this is my insurance page. I'd love to talk to you. No one is going to say, I can't wait to follow John on insurance tips.
Makes sense.
So that's what you got to understand, guys. When you're developing these brands, develop your personal brand, right? You always have the business.
Should be some kind of hook, essentially. That's something they care about, love doing, or
dogs,
doing anyway.
Whatever it may be. Whatever that thing is you love, from mechanics to shooting guns. I see you got the shirt. I see it. So look, if you love shooting guns, do gun tutorials and videos, and you don't have to be perfect. Just set up a camera, set up your phone. Don't worry, and that's the number one thing that kills. And I've been reading your signs, and you got to just do it. That's why I wear Nike a lot of times. It reminds me of just doing it. A lot of people are like, oh, I need a camera crew, or I need to wait, I need a $5,000 camera crew. No, get your phone, set it up on a tripod, start shooting, look in the camera, and say, hey, did you like that night? Yeah, did you like that night?
I paid him to say that.
Of course, right. Stop, but start shooting. No, you know what I mean. Start shooting, but then talk about different things. Just talk about it, man. Do you guys know about Morgan? Just start talking about it. Because now what's going to happen, you're going to build a following that likes that. But what happens is they start with, hey, man, I like that. I follow this guy. He does crazy, shooting.
I'm thinking of Jeremy does he's been involved in girls softball for 150 years.
Boom.
Does everything with them, coaches them, trains them, teaches them. Everybody in that world knows. Dude, if I meet someone in the softball world, I'm like, Jeremy Waller? They're like, yep. But everywhere I go.
So that means he already has a following because at the events he can vendor and
But it's tying everything together.
Do you sponsor your events or have tables at those games? See, okay, but you don't. Okay. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. Yeah. No. So even from that, right, we've just used you for example, probably how many league or teams you think you're involved in monthly basis? Let's do monthly basis.
I know I cross paths with a few hundred.
I've never met someone in a sport that don't know him.
And then,
I ain't that connected in it, but I meet some people, and that's you get to like and trust. It's like you name drop, y'all know Jeremy Waller? Like, yep.
So you already have the industry notoriety to be who I am in my industry, right? So what you have to do is you make a page, the girls softball guy or something like that, right? Now you put your face, people already know you. Hey guys, like my page, I'll be giving you tips on, I don't know what I'm just going to make up something, starting a team, starting a league, whatever it may be, right? How to operate, how to hire the right refs. But in that, you're always going to give some snippets of mortgage protection or whatever it may be that you're selling. But what happens now, also when you go to these games, set up something where you may one day give out free snow cones, bring your parents. You have to have your parents with you, give away free snow cones, enter the raffle as well. Now what's happening, you're collecting all those leads. Hey, what's going on? Hey, your daughter's doing great or whatever it may be. I just wanted to make sure, you had mortgage protection or whatever it may be. I love to come and talk. Now that they already know you, it's almost like, yeah, sure. Hey, while I'm in the neighborhood, you got a couple of neighbors that I probably can connect with as well. They may say, you know what? Yeah, we were just talking about this. So incorporate it, because imagine how many hundreds out of those 100 people, I guarantee you get 20 to 30 from every 100. At least either know someone that needs something or say, let's talk, right? So never, no matter what, I don't care if it's church, never doubt what you're doing and you're the person known for that industry, because the more people you meet, how you're saying, the more leads you get. And what happens now when you don't have to buy those leads or you're talking, people are just coming to you like, hey, because you got your booth up there and you're giving away stuff all the time. You're doing raffles. So start that page today.
Dude, what's crazy is, as you're saying this, kind of clicking for me. I met this guy. Remember I was telling you the guy I met in the front row?
Yep.
That happens to be in art, and I didn't know. He's in the health world, and he does Facebook stuff. He was telling me, I was trying to figure out how they get leads in their business, because they do something different than we do.
Of course.
And he's like, yeah, I just run these, I got these Facebook ads. And I'm like, he has 40 agents. They do an obscene amount of volume per year relative to the number of agents they have. And they don't buy any leads like we buy leads. All of them come through his Facebook page because he did stuff like this. And I'm like, what do you talk about? And he's like, I don't even talk about insurance in my page, almost at all. And then every once in a while, I just go like, insurance guy.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
It comes.
And
I don't talk about brand and marketing too much.
Some of his things, 15,000 shares, 80,000 likes. And he gets 100 leads a day. He just dishes out to his agents. All of them come from organic social, and he don't do. And I watched the videos. I'm like, seriously? he's dressed in like a pink bunny
supposed
suit
to
talking
go,
about
go.
the sunshine.
Yeah.
Or he'll be sitting in the pool and on a floaty, like talking about kids jumping, cannonballing in the pool in the background. Gets hundreds of insurance leads a day.
And you can do it on the same level as what he's talking about. Because even in my business, I don't even talk about, like, I talk about my clients. I don't talk about myself. I show myself traveling, me and my wife, and they'll be like, hey, well, I want to get with you about marketing.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Yep.
Because they enjoy what they follow you to follow you.
Yeah.
And every now and then, if you say like, hey, marketing, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot you do marketing. Hey, Will, can I talk to you? You know, so that's how it's to the point right now where it's like a cheat code for me.
It's truly personal branding.
Big time.
Yeah.
And you almost got to become the brand, guys. If you really believe in what you do, and I know you do, and I know John, so I already know he pounded in your head. But if you really believe in what you do, you almost be a walking billboard. Like, remember we were talking about it. When you want to take this position, it comes with scrutiny. It comes with not being perfect, but someone's always looking at you. You never, and I mean, they know everything about you. They be like, hey, I see you just came from Atlanta. Hey, I'm like, oh man, and you forget, like, yeah, I forgot I put that up there, but they know every little detail about you, right? So if you're ready for this and you want to market, remember, you're out there. They're
even the ones that
looking.
don't engage,
They're there.
They're still, yeah.
When they meet you, they're like,
learning
man, I'm checking you out. I'm like, I've never seen you on my page.
Yep.
I know a couple times, we do so much around the city where I was on the news and traveling. I was in McDonald's line and it was like, Willie Carey, and I was like, and I did not know who this person was. I was like, hey, man, I follow you on Facebook. I was like, oh, man, thanks, bro. And I was like, all right, let me get my food. And I was like, because you just never know. Me and my wife can be in the mall all the time. And they're like, hey, guys. And we're like, hey. And then we're like, who is that? And they're like, I don't know. And they'll talk to us like they know.
Like they know
I love
you.
your kids. I love it. And we're like, yeah, thank you. And you got to look on the page like, oh, okay, that's Samantha. Now you know, like, because people, you know, on social media sometimes don't look how they look online. So when you see them, you're like, who are you? You know, so you got to be careful when you get into this. You will be known, but if you put in the work and be a walking brand, anytime they see you, they know. That's why you see me with the GOAT hat. I talk a lot. I call myself, I know a lot of you probably don't like Kanye. I said the Kanye of marketing and branding. But a lot of people call me the GOAT because I'm real good at what I do. And I think at the age and being a minority-owned company, having 3 billionaire clients, I know I didn't talk a lot about that. Just having that and being so young and free, I'm way different than any marketing agency you probably ever met. And I will kick anyone in there. You curse? You don't curse?
Why?
You curse? Okay, we're not
He said, do
gonna
you curse?
Yeah, you guys don't curse.
He asked if I curse.
John does.
Okay, you curse.
I started, now that I know I'm being recorded and it costs editing time, I'm like, I'm trying to do it
Okay,
less.
I don't curse then. Okay.
But I'm like, yeah.
I'll kick in there.
And Stephanie's not here.
Okay.
So I can do it more. When she's here, I get yelled at.
Yeah, she said she's coming back, so I'm gonna be good. So,
Right?
she said she's coming back.
I'll let it slip.
my wife
and she'll be in the
does the
back
same.
like, John. I'm like,
That's
good
the hardest
lie.
thing with me
I don't-
speaking because of that ex-military thing. We
Yeah.
just curse a lot.
Just be yourself.
No, I'm not cursing. He'll
You
be
can let it
editing
rip.
all day. No, that's okay. I'm gonna keep it here.
Whatever she allows, you can do.
Yeah, she just said don't sue it. So, but
I
no,
understand.
But I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna keep going. So I've done so much that, like, me and the mayor, like, this is the mayor of one of the cities of Apopka. This is the CEO of the chamber, and this is one of the commissioners. During COVID, and this is me just thinking outside the box. No events going on. They have a big, beautiful amphitheater. And I said, man, I know the mayor. Hey, mayor, I want to do some free events for your citizens at your amphitheater. Can we partner and you give me the venue for free? This is like a $5,000 venue. Give me the venue for free. I do the events and I pay for it with my sponsorships and things of that nature. Sure. We did 12 events during COVID because it's so large, the spacing. We did 12 events, but those events allowed me to get the notoriety. Wow. And people are like, man, because I was the only one doing stuff. So while every other agency was chilling, I was out there like, I'm about to whoop your butts, guys. I didn't want to say butts, but I had to say butts. So I did that. But what happened is I stepped outside of that line and I took a risk of doing that. But thousands of people came out. Now the CEO was like, hey, I want to be your client. Cool. Now the city actually developed a strategy program for the inner cities, how we're going to incorporate it and things of that nature. I met I had to go in a meeting. So when she met me, she was new to the job. Literally that week when she met me, because I was doing events and she knew me, she was like, hey, I need you to develop a proposal economic development proposal for South Apopka, North Apopka, and I needed Monday, and this is like on a Friday, and because she was meeting with every political leader in Central Florida, so all the mayors, and I was in there, and I had to present it. So I had to make this up during the weekend, go in there and present it, and I was like, why am I doing this? I don't even know why. But that led into now I'm meeting all these dignitary individuals that look at me as, because it's not all about money sometimes. Like that kind of job I did was free, but I did it because when you're hanging around with certain people, now your clients know your worth. They can't just lowball you or, So when you're hanging with those kind of people and you have them in your back pocket, it's not even back pocket, but I do real things for those people. And I don't want money in return. Not everything you do is to sell a policy, right? You may help a family move out of home, right? You do that because it's just, good in nature. But what happens, people notice that. Hey, I noticed that. I was thinking about who to go. I was thinking about a company, either you or them. I want you because I saw you do that good thing.
Good things tend to happen.
Always think about that, guys. Even though I like dollars and I always like to execute, sometimes you have to do dirty work and you're not paid for it. But believe me, it always comes back. My wife can tell you she's seen hours where she's like, and she'll post on social media sometimes over the years, my husband is not free. He does not do free work. She always says that, but I always tell her like, babe, it's gonna come back. And the funny thing is, every time I do something free, a bigger client comes and needs what I did for free and learn off of that free client, and now I'm getting paid 10 times what I would have even asked them. So it's almost like I was practicing for that free client to do. So always try to give when you can, educate when you can, give back when you can, because you never know like who's watching, because they're always watching. They're always watching. And this is the framework. So we're going to talk about this. So awareness, that's the first step. A lot of you guys have to understand, before anybody buy anything from you, they got to know that you sell it, right? I probably can go on 50% of your social media, and I probably don't see anything insurance, right? Would I see insurance or no?
Some of them are about to lie to you.
Yes or no? Raise your hand if you got insurance content on your personal Facebook. Do you have your company tag and say you work for this company? Any of that? Man, you got 4. Jeez Louise. So this is what I'm going to say.
That's why you're here, bro.
I'm going to go straight to that point. So this is, and it's not being, can you get on Facebook here?
Yes.
Go on Facebook and go to my page. I just want to show them how it looks. Can you do that? Yes and no?
Yes and no.
She can, but you have to come up here and do it, right?
I have to do it there.
She can pull it up. She has to just come open the internet up here.
Yeah, so, and the reason why I say that is, guys, if you're doing all this marketing and branding and they don't know where to go, it's like so you guys get leads, right? When you get leads, it goes to a funnel. If you don't have a funnel to catch these leads, guess what happens? They go to your friend that sells insurance because they didn't know. Molly, you just talked about cats all day. They thought you just loved cats. They didn't know you sold insurance. And I'm not talking about being pushy. You just have to remind them that I'm the owner of this business, right? This is my business page. And now on social media, you can even put your website and other things on it. Back in the day, you couldn't do that. But now you can put your Instagram, your business website, because you never know who's looking at you, guys, I'm telling you. So if you're doing all this stuff, but no one knows that you're with John, or, because I had one agent in Tampa was like, I hold my license with Family First Life. And I was like, man, remember she was like, what agency she was at? And I was like, I don't know, ask John. She was like, and she holds her license with you. But I would have never, because I thought she was only in real estate, because a lot of people don't show like what they do. And now I'm telling you guys, that's the number one thing. Even while we're seeing this, she's young in real estate, but she's a big figurehead now because of what I did with brand and marketing. So she's like a 2-year agent. We got agents that's 20, 30 years looking at us like, man, we're trying to keep up with you guys. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just a marketer. Like, I don't even know. But I do know speed. I know marketing and branding. And when you know that, you can beat anybody almost, in that. So when she pulls up that, we're going to show you guys how your pages should look. You don't have to be pushy, guys. Don't go tomorrow and like, change everything. You're like, look, this is who I am, guys. Follow me. Do it slowly, right? And then start building that following. Don't be like my wife. I'm gonna bring her in. My wife hates to add people. Like she'll be like, I don't know you. I'm not gonna add you. The reason why I say this, guys, try to add strangers. Try to network as much as you can on social media because it's your business, right? If you're operating like a family private thing, it's cool. But now that you've talked to me, operate like a business. Look at your Facebook as a lead gen business. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna be networking, you go to a volleyball game, you talk to them, hey, you got a Facebook? Hey, add me. Boom. Now what happens, that stranger, because we know strangers support you more than your family and friends on your social media, right? Your family and friends, they're gonna like every now and then and say, oh, congrats. But that new stranger, they'll go through 100 photos, love them, share them, send your information to somebody. You know, I bet this guy will. He's the coolest guy ever. None of your family and friends are going to do that at this moment. So I'm telling you, so what happens every time you meet a new person and you add them to your ecosystem, that allows you to penetrate their ecosystem. Because every person may know 100 to 1,000 people you don't know. But then when you introduce to that person, let's say if they share a post you share, now you're literally penetrating their following without even trying, right? So never try to say, I don't know these people, I'm not adding them to my personal life. If you really want to be very successful, not only in this business, in any business, you want to make sure your presence, you're friendly, you know, you talk to anyone. And what's going to happen, you're going to know so many people when you're going to network, they're like, oh, yeah, so-and-so told me about you. I've been meaning to call you, because you know how that is with leads, right? You can talk to them takes about 7 times to close a deal. You can talk to them 3 or 5 times. On that 6th time is when they're like, I was gonna call you the other day. So you gotta be very careful about, you know, that when it comes to that brand.
Yeah, and it even seems like, as I'm thinking about this, if I wish I could rewind in time, like a lot of the leads we work with tend to be very much middle income America. We aren't selling necessarily big policies or tons of IULs or tons of annuities. They come. But I would think if you start doing some of this stuff, it might lead to a bigger case type also, a bigger market.
Trying to stretch it.
You know what I mean?
I never added any of my clients to my Facebook page because we posted numbers, and I didn't want people to see numbers and then go to my business page and see numbers. Now that we've cleaned all that out.
Do y'all post, do y'all add clients?
When you say numbers, what do you
Like
mean
meaning
by that?
how much commissions and sales?
You said on your business. I'm saying personal.
We used to, but now it's a company-wide initiative. We don't. So
Okay.
we cleaned all that up, and now I could add all my clients.
But I'm just curious why.
Actually, they like that. That's actually marketing.
They bought
So
insurance.
you're saying, yeah, this month.
'Cause y'all do.
No, but we do. No,
Meaning
everybody
that
do.
shouldn't even be a hook. Y'all watch like that $1 million listing?
Of course.
Dude, they're all over the
I
internet
wanna
talking
show
about how much money they make on every
what I
sale.
do about me. I'm trying to say.
You don't think your clients know you get paid?
Why do you think
Well,
it
they
looks like that?
obviously.
I'm just saying.
We actually talk about it.
'Cause this
but
is just
I mean,
showing my
it seemed-
feed.
It seemed very,
I think if that's all you're posting, and it's not like you have to go like, I just left Mary and made
Click on
X.
John.
But
Yeah,
again,
no,
in the
but-
real estate world, they
But
don't shy away
that
from
actually
that.
helps. Most real estate agencies say, we sold $3 billion this month.
Yeah.
Because what it's showing is you're trustworthy, you're doing that,
Yeah.
your job. And then people say, hey, I want to put my house with you. Or just like with insurance, we sold 50 policies this month. What happens? Someone says, I need to meet up with you. I need a policy myself. So never be afraid to show those numbers. Even sometimes I show my clients every now and then because I want them to see like I'm actually doing the work. Because if you don't show the work and you're like, I'm the best entrepreneur ever, they're like, I've never seen you work in my life.
Yeah.
I want her to, but I think it's just looking like that. Oh, you know what?
It's the site. I think it's because
Yeah.
it's not like
The size
actual
of it.
Internet Explorer or something that it's.
Click over there.
Because I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I know what you want to see.
But no, see how it's doing?
You want like the.
To show the whole you know how I showed you?
But because.
What if you send them a link?
You know what?
Like do it from the phone.
Yeah,
You send a link right to where you want to go.
You have mine. Yeah, that's probably, you probably have to sign out.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Where
probably have to
trying
sign out.
You know when you are on your computer and you look at Facebook.com and you go to your profile,
Yeah.
there's your about section and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
your friends and all of that.
Yeah.
Your pictures.
Press home, see what it does with home. Is this home right there? Boom, I got, nope, did I get it? Kinda got, oh, you're in his business page.
No, I'm in
No,
his
my personal.
profile. Yep, it's just because of the,
Okay, I see.
it's the browser.
All right, don't worry about it, we'll go back. We'll see that later. But I
Hey, we
just
gotta
want
learn how to like
I know,
pull something up
right?
on a phone and beam it over here.
You probably can. Is this a,
I
okay.
would plug it in.
You'll go back, don't worry. But So we'll talk about the page, but make sure you always brand yourself. So just how your business page is on Facebook, if you guys have a business page, you want to make sure your personal is at least similar to that. You can do it a little friendly, but I'm all business 24/7. When I say all business, I've merged my life with entrepreneurship because I love what I do.
Yeah.
If you guys love what you do, you'll do the same thing too. And what I mean by that is I rest when I want to rest. I work when I want to work, but I do work hard. I take my wife on trips with me. When my kids, when we leave our kids, we go back home, but we vacation hard because I'm making up for the days I miss with them. So if you have to turn entrepreneurship into something you love. If you're just doing it like, okay, it's 5 o'clock, woo, let me cut it off. Whoo, you'll kind of never be successful in this business, and John probably said that's why he's looking like that. But I tell you the truth, my wife can tell you, sometimes even getting to dinner, she was like, babe, can we go? I was like, give me a minute. I got to send 3 more emails. Yeah. And I'm laying on the bed, like, not even dressed, like, he's like, babe, we got dinner in like 30 minutes. I'm like, give me 1 minute. Yeah. But sometimes it's like that, but then other times it's, I don't have nothing. Let's go explore the town all day. That's what this business gives you when you put your all into it, right? You get to chill some days, but you know you've put in work, right? And if you don't do that, you're never going to be like truly successful.
In anything. That's why I try to explain it.
Look, and this is coming from me. He didn't tell me. He didn't pay me. He didn't even tell me what to say, guys. I promise.
No, we didn't even prep about this
at all.
We're just like, let's go hang out.
And my wife could tell you the same thing. And when you make it like that, and you balance it, you know, your kids, your family appreciate it. When you can.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, guys. That's why I'm on the phone. Balancing here with you, texting my kids in school.
It's everything.
Doing it all.
And she's my psychic. I think that's I'm glad she said that. Like I told you, high school sweethearts. But I think one thing we did as entrepreneurs, we know our roles in each part, and we play them well. Every now and then I may get mad because I'm like, I need more support. And she'll be like, no, I'm tired of you working. You know, so we fight back, and then probably the same with you and your wife.
For sure. Y'all will be telling war stories tonight.
Yeah, no, at dinner, yes, we will be telling war stories. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you win. So if you do have a partner and they can help you, it's one of the best things ever. Mm-hmm. Now, don't try to make your spouse do too much with you, because what happens then, they kind of end up not wanting to help you as much. Yeah. So you always let them have their part, like do their things they do, but then also always be connected to what you're doing, right? Like my wife could be unplugged from me for like 2 months. But if I'm traveling, she's like, okay, I'm going. And I'm like, all right, this is your job on this trip. Yeah. And she plugs right in like, you know, hey, I'm Will, this is it. You know, she's there, and I'm like, yeah. So you have to have that in a spouse, because if you do have that in a spouse, or if you can, you know, you get an intern or whatever it may be, you need that other person, you know, in the business that you can, you know, play off. So the awareness, what we're saying, make sure people know you exist. If people don't know you exist, you're not in business, right? No matter how big of a person you think you are, even me as a person that have all these clients and I know how to brand and market, some people may say, man, I forgot you market, Will. And I'm like, how the heck can you forget that? But that's just how it is. So never look at yourself as you're too big to market, or you made it, or, you know, like my family should know what I do, because some people, this is what I tell most of my clients, not everybody is looking for you. They have a life. Mm-hmm. And you know, most people picking up their kids from school, going to sports, going to church, going to these other things. They're not saying, I forgot to get my mortgage insurance quote today. Like, no one's saying that in the world right now. I know John wants them to say that, but they're not saying that. And it's just like me, no one's saying, man, I got to get my Brandon, you know, quote from Will. You have to make them want to talk to you. You have to start that conversation, because if you don't, and then you don't show like you are that person, you're going to miss a lot of business, guys. Yeah. A lot of business. So it comes with that branding, the look, feel, become the brand. The biggest thing, too, I send a lot of clients, and I get paid a lot for this, understand the pain points of your clients. Like whatever service you're offering in insurance, you have to know the pain points of, if you don't have my product, this is what happens. If you communicate that straight out the gate to your clients and they understand that, hey, you love this home, you want to leave it to your kids, right? You can talk to them in the beginning. They're going to say, I want to leave my kids this home, you know, for generational wealth, whatever it may be, or it's something, you know. Mm-hmm. Now what you say is, okay, if you die tomorrow, what happens? If they can't answer and they say, oh, the house is taken, guess what? You need a policy. Yeah. You either need a policy now or later, but you need one. You know, why not get the policy with me, and then that's when you just do the follow-up, because now you have a qualified lead that has a pain point. But if that client has a policy, or you're trying to compare and get them a better rate or whatever it may be, that has to be the point, because if that's not the point, you're not gonna say, if that client doesn't know the pain point is if you die tomorrow, this house goes away, they're not caring. They're like, I don't have the money, I don't care. And we know the money, those are excuses, because really anything you want, you can save and pay for.
So that could be some of the marketing you're saying is they could talk about pain points regular.
And you can be harsh, just like I said.
Yeah.
And you can say something like, guys, you die tomorrow, what happens to your house if you're paying for it right now?
Your lights on.
Your lights. And guess what happens? You're going to get people say, they may say, I got insurance. Man, I never thought about it this way. Now, everybody that says that, you inbox them. Don't go too hard. Don't show the whole policy description. Just say, hey, I see, you said you never thought about it. I just want to let you know this is what I do. I'd love to talk to you.
That's how TikTok's open. It's like usually the pain point of some kind, the problem we're trying to solve.
Yep.
And they catch them.
And you hit them with a sentence or two. Yep. You don't go paragraph on them. You go paragraph, you lose them. Hey, I'm Will Carey with Family Life First. This is what I do. Look, go to my website. They're like, yeah, not that. So you just talk to them. Look, you just hit them with, and even when my guys start working with me and they'll see me, I reply to these major clients with like 2 sentences and get a deal. And they're like, how the hell are you doing this? I'm like, bro, I'm speaking straight to their pain point and I'm giving them exactly what they want. Yep. All the other fluff, you take that out, because when people read an email, they don't want to read 3 pages of overview of what this is what I'm trying to do for you. Let's have coffee. And from there, you start your follow-up. So understand the pain points. And like you said, that's what you post about on social. Because those pain points hit them every time. Yeah. If you're not talking about the pain, they don't care, right? You talk about those pain points, you'll win a client every time. And the messaging, be consistent with your message and just make sure you have that messaging, right? How we talked about, this is why you need my product. But be consistent, because you never, like we said, you never know. You can't just do it one time and then never do it again. Be consistent. I know he probably tell you guys that all the time, right? Engagement. Engage a lot. Do posts on your social. But when you do posts, it may be a broad topic that you're just talking about. It may be a current event. It may not be, it doesn't even have to be related to insurance, just so you guys know. Yep. So don't be every day like, this is the facts of insurance. Let's talk, guys. No one is going to talk to you about that. But do something you know is the hot topic. But when you hit them, be engaging. Like, even with my following, sometimes when we do stuff, people say, congratulations, thank you. If you look at my post, I go to every comment and say thank you. Yep. And the funny thing is, because I'm military and I got this photographic memory, I know about them. And they're like, how did this guy know? And they'll say something back and I say something. But the reason why I'm doing that, because I want to be engaged and be human. I don't want them to ever look at me like, this guy thinks he's all of that. He's not talking to me. I said congrats, and he didn't say thank you or whatever it may be. So you always got to make sure you engage with your people. And I'm talking about, if it takes a long time, it takes a long time. But if you do that, you got to understand you're building your brand and you're building a relationship. You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just keeping you good. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Look, you're building a relationship with those individuals, so you're good. She thought I was going to say something bad, I guess. I didn't curse, babe.
No, I'm trying to, I was asking how long the training is that?
Oh, yeah, she knows me.
So I have to keep it.
I am too. I got.
Okay.
Yep.
I go 5 hours of training.
I'm the same. We relate in a lot of ways.
Right. And now with engagement and basically marketing strategy, email campaigns. I know he probably talked to you guys about email campaigns. Build a list, guys. Now, don't spam the list, but build it. And let me give you a secret, and this is all free game. I probably charge a lot if it weren't for John. But look, when you're doing these email campaigns, maybe you do, hey guys, these are the current events happening this week from John, the insurance guy. Now you're keeping them up. These are upcoming festivals. Whatever niche you're in, these are the upcoming tournaments. Whatever it may be, send out an email, and you're just going to have, Natalie and shit, whatever your name is. And what happens, and they're like, oh, you're the one that sent me those emails. Oh, thank you. I went to that festival. You may be like, what festival? Because, you're just using information you find online. But just talk to those individuals, build those lists, and continue to grow that list, because you never know those lists. Yeah. You can, once you build those lists, I remember back in the day, that's how I ate. I just sent lists, and people who didn't open them, guess what? I sent it to them so they open or they unsubscribe, one or the other, right? But build those lists because that email becomes your list, that becomes your lead gen, your purchasing leads, and also social media ads and touch points. Like I said, you don't have to go out today and start running ads, guys, but I say look into at least doing some social media presence. You can be putting $10, you can put $5 in a post on your business page, but you're reaching people, and you can either reach a zip code or whatever it may be. And you may do something like, and I'm gonna tell you, this is a creative thing to do. You guys love Braves, we know that. Buy a couple tickets, but buy like 20, it depends, I invest. Buy like a couple $20 to $30 tickets, 5 or 10, and say, hey guys, I'm giving away 10 tickets to someone to go to the Braves game. Run that ad within Atlanta, wherever you wanna run it, in the zip code that you wanna focus on. And what's going to happen, people are going to go crazy. Oh, I want the tickets, I want the tickets, I want the tickets. What happened now, you've built this lead gen, and you built a potential viral post. And you can be known to do that twice a month. And you do that, and what happens now, these people are coming to you saying, man, you gave away a ticket, that's awesome, man. Oh, you do insurance. Man, you know what, I need my home. I need that. Or I just bought a home, I'd love to talk to you. So think about that. You may run ads in the new neighborhoods that's just being built, or if you know of a community just being built, or whatever your, forming area. I know you guys kind of do just like real estate. Whatever your area is, do giveaways and run an ad on that. Don't always be like, did you do your insurance today? Because they're going to be like, they're going to show a finger at you guys, but I can't do it. But that's what they're going to do on social media, I'm telling you. But and that's why people say it's not working, because you're not showing people something they like. On YouTube, when you see those ads, you're trying to go to a video, what you do? Skip. Yeah, I don't like that.
As soon as I can.
Yeah, you skip. As soon 1 second, skip. Yeah. Right? Because you're like, you're invading what, I don't want to see that, right? Yeah. But then, let's say you're going shopping, ladies, you're in Amazon, you look at something, you leave, you know how they follow you? Yeah. Hey, here's your high heels, this is your high heels. They know that's what you want because they're looking at your cookies, right? So when you share entertainment stuff and things people want to do, they follow you the same way. If you share something they don't care about, they're like, hide you from, why are you even on my Facebook? And you have older individuals, they're like, and I know this because I have markets 1,000, they'll be like, why is this ad on my page? I didn't approve this. And I'm like, it's Facebook ads. like they think you went and just put it on their page and
You're
was like,
scam.
hey,
you got
John. Yeah, they're like, how did you get on my page? I don't even like seafood. And I'm like, okay. So you got to understand, you're going to have those people that just talk crap on your comments. Yeah. You know what you're going after, so you kind of got to have tough skin in this game. And you guys know, you've heard no millions of times. Yeah. And we all know the faster you get past those no's, you get to those yeses, right? So just keep pushing. And then storytelling is kind of what I did about a couple stories. We talked about storytelling a lot. Yeah. Talk about why you got into insurance, right? Tell that story of why. It may be a deep story like my mom lost her home, and when I found out there's a way we can keep that home, this is why I got into insurance. What happens now, you may go on Facebook Live. Just go on Facebook Live, tell that story. You may even cry. You cry? That's even better. Because then they'll, but no, I'm serious about this. When you show people you're human and it's empathy and this is my story and this is why, or you tell a story, hey, I seen one person say this, the hardest part of being in insurance is seeing your client die, but you know you did a great job by insuring them. Yeah. Talk about some of the clients that deceased and say, hey, I was glad to be there for them. With that money, they were able to do this. What happens now, that realization of some person that doesn't have it is like, man, let me get my policy, and why not come to you because you're telling the story.
What do you think about stories of like clients that they covered for whatever reason, or getting a story like with the client?
Like
getting
time.
them like while because they all sit with people all the time.
Any kind of testimonial like that, as soon as you sign a deal, I'll ask, hey, can I have permission to record you and say, why did you get this policy? Because guess what? Every client gonna have a different reason. It may not even be the reason you may thought you sold them, and they may be like, you know, my auntie just died and I thought about this and I was like, why not get it, right? So always ask them, hey, can I do a little short video? They're gonna say, yeah, sure. Or not only that too, hey, could you do a post and say, you know, and whatever referral they close on a deal, I know insurance, if you don't got the license, that you can't give referrals, right? Is that kind of the same as
No,
real
we
estate?
can.
You can't get
Yeah.
referrals?
There's certain lines you can't sell at the same
You
time.
do the
Yeah, you can't do this and then do that in the same. There's
So-
weird things, but
so
we don't
if-
mess with that anyway.
Yeah, so if you close a deal, you say, hey, look, can you share this? If you get a couple deals, I'll make
Oh,
sure.
you
the
mean paying for referral? Yeah, you can't pay for them.
Referral fee,
Yeah,
okay.
you can't pay for them.
So don't do referral fee, but just give gift cards.
High fives.
Yeah, you can give gift cards if just to give to them, correct?
What is it? Y'all know? Is it like $20 or something like that?
Yep, I
There's
think
some
it's not
limit.
over 25 bucks.
Well, the one guy.
Y'all just figure it out and do that.
Just not for anything in return.
Yeah.
Yeah. So $20. Just say, hey, here's $20. Thank you. I'd love to share a testimonial. Boom.
Yeah. Just do what's legal.
Yeah. Yeah, no money. Yeah. And then at me in the post, please.
Yeah.
Look.
And don't put me on it.
Yeah, don't put me on
I don't
it.
want
Yeah.
nothing to do it. Don't tag me. Don't nothing.
And then we were talking about subscribe. So when you get an email list, or even if you don't have one, put some on your site if you guys have individual sites. And if you don't have sites, a good thing you can use is Google Forms. And with Google Forms, you basically can make a link and say, hey, this is my weekly blast list or whatever, weekly fun list. I've seen your top fun things to do for the week in the city. And what you do is when people click on that link, they can put their name. You can customize that document to say first name, last name, email. Do you have insurance? No, yes. Keep it simple. Because what's going to happen every no, that's a lead. Every no. Now you got their phone and their email. Do the same thing on your website. Hey, subscribe here for whatever. Because I did it on my website, and as a marketer, like I'm so busy, my web guy put the email to the wrong email, so we was like, oh, no one's subscribing, and we open it up, it's like 1,000 leads of people saying, subscribe to your secret, and every now and then I keep getting these subscribers. I'm like, man, why did I do? I'm in a good place in business. It's almost, imagine if you had so many deals that you didn't care. I'm not like that, but I am. So it's to the point I'm like, But if you develop that, it comes, you're sleeping, wake up, man, I got 20 leads, and they said no. Those are 20 leads you didn't have to pay for. And those are actually even better leads because we know the leads you pay for sometimes can be junk leads. It's a lot of money you spend out that they're not qualified leads.
Why don't you hire somebody that you can mentor to be an extension of you to take those leads and work them and
Well, because now,
yourself?
now I'm at a certain point where I only deal with a certain client.
But
So
you
most of
could
those are
deal with
normal.
people, and you could deal with only deal with
Most-
those clients.
You gotta, it's a thin line and we were talking about this, what happens. I'm an agency that I love to be more personal and talk to my clients and deliver something to where I don't have to have 1,000 clients, because I tried both models. The 50 plus model is very hard on an agency, period. Because what happens, you can't control quality, and what happens, you get too many clients, and next thing you know, you're like, wait, this client does this.
Yeah.
When you keep a certain number and you're making enough, you're able to build other entities and make money without doing work. The biggest goal as an entrepreneur is not do work and make money, right? The more clients I get, no matter what I try not to do, I would do more work.
What I hear you saying is there's levels to this thing.
There's levels.
She don't.
And you
she,
got
he
to
sees something you don't see.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
But if you had a mini me and it was,
What he's saying is that don't work.
grow his business, I understand that.
But you.
No, you're right in what you're saying. You're right in what you're saying. Look, look, but you're right in what you're saying. So you gotta, and I can talk about me. So I am the exclusive marketing partner for real estate for this company, the company I told you about. So every agent that comes there comes to me for marketing and branding, which means I can get 100 agents a week. So imagine me now trying to outsource, because guess what? When the quality goes away, and it's just like fast food chains, right? The first two maybe were great because it was controllable. They had the cook that loved to cook waffles. As you get more and more, it's like, this sucks. This doesn't taste
That
like
waffle
the
was
same.
like rubber.
Because think about this, and I'm gonna use this for instance. No, use this for instance, and I'm gonna probably trump the case. What is the most of the best food you will ever taste will not be a franchise, right? But the franchise make the most money. But the mom and pop places taste better, correct? I want to taste better. The bigger you get, and I tried it and I went crazy. And I'm to the point where I'd rather have 10 clients paying. I actually make more now than when I had 30 clients. And I have about 6 major clients. And I can say, I want John as a client me and him are talking, I'm doing something that I feel good and engaged in what I'm doing. It's not just like, I'm doing work, you know, the system is going. What I like to do, I partner with other people that do great, and I start companies with them. And now when they do something, I get a percentage, and I'm sitting right here, but I'm getting paid from.
Now we're talking my language.
Yeah, and that's what you got to understand. So I saw early on in entrepreneurship.
Mailbox money.
That's it. At first I thought I wanted to be a big corporation agency, like millions of clients, I make so much millions of dollars. The more money you make like that, it goes out like that as well, because you need more resources, overhead, office, marketing, staff, more assistants. That guy needs an assistant to the assistant to the assistant. And now you're like, man, I made a $5 million, but 4.5 went to fees. When I can make, you know, what I want and keep 90%.
So you control your integrity, your quality.
But then you can grow when you want. Like if I want to get aggressive, like you said, I can say, tomorrow I want to get aggressive, because now I have these lower quality clients. But I'm going to tell you something about this. When you deal with the clients that pay the less are going to be the most stressful.
We know that.
No, so you see,
we have a similar equipment.
Thank you. So I rather work with the clients that
the ones that sell the least are the biggest pain in the. I love y'all.
Yeah,
Look at the camera, by the way.
Look, yeah. But that's how it is. I'm telling you guys. You get these clients, sometimes they're paying you. You're doing 1/4 of what you'll do for a smaller client, and they're like, you're the best ever. And you're like, I am? Man, like, wow, like, wait till you see what I really can do. So that is something that I've had to balance with being able to see where I wanted to go. And I did both. And then the work, the bigger work is, I feel like when I started doing like back-end framework strategy and things, I saw that I loved that even more than just the grind work. And that grind work, you know how it is, it'll get you. Like, imagine when you first start doing insurance, everyone wants to be the top producer, but they don't want to do the dirty work of door knocking, cold calling, and things of that nature. But once you get better and better, you're not doing that. You outsource it, or you have a team that does that, and you may be the closer. So that's how I look at my business.
So what do you think about, you just said something about like Google Forms. Do you think Google reviews work in ways? The reason I ask, I was at an event the other day, and this girl I know, she does some good business stuff, and she's like, she's like, give me your phone. She took my phone and went to her like Google page
to see about
hit 5 stars and said, here, hit submit. But she's got like a zillion, and she gets a ton of referrals.
Of course.
She don't do what we do.
I think it's multiple ways to that. And me being a brand and a marketer, like seeing how things work, a lot of people know now people pay for those reviews.
Got it.
So you got to understand, if you build your brand trustworthy and people really know you, they already know you're a good guy. Like sometimes I don't even ask client for reviews, but I'm at that stage. You got to get to that stage. You can't just be like tomorrow, like, I don't need a review. Like, I don't ask clients sometimes for reviews because everybody knows me, right? But I would say for you guys, if you're starting off your brand, get testimonials on your Facebook page, so that when people, because the first thing a client will do to you, like even you guys, you can go to growyourbusinesswithwill.com. But the first thing they would do, they would look at all your social media first. Because now people want to know you and like you before they do business with you.
Personally.
So if they go through your stuff and they're like, oh, this guy is not exciting. I thought he's a branding guy. But if they go to your stuff like, man, you're killed, they want to talk to you immediately. And they want to give you money.
So you haven't had weirdos come out of the woodwork?
What's that? The Google?
No.
So weirdos.
With your social media, just since you give them everything.
Of course, no, I give even too much. My wife hates that I post personal, everything. And you never know. If my son's sick, I'm going to post it. My son plays football, I'm going to post it. My wife goes on vacation, girl trips, I post it. She don't want me to post it, but I post it. But the only reason I do that because you never know what story or what post someone is looking at. Like even when we came to the billionaire client, he said, man, I followed you guys TikTok. You guys made me get on TikTok. We would have never thought this guy was looking at TikTok. And we used to do some crazy thing. We went viral a couple of times. We would have never thought someone was looking at TikTok. But you never know how you're, someone's looking at you like, man, and they've never liked anything. You never knew they looked at anything. You never knew they liked anything.
The hard part, I think, for a lot of us, because I can look back and go, man, I wish I collected emails and testimonials and all these things when I was sitting with all these clients. But a lot of us in this space, we're so used to instant gratification, and that we can buy a lead, call them, go see them tomorrow, get paid tonight. It's so quick. So by nature, we tend to shy away from like stuff that takes time to build.
Because you're making money.
But now I can look back on it, and that's why I'm trying to do more. I can look back and go, God, I could be so much further along in the process.
And he said a mouthful right now. Although when you're making money like that, make sure I take one day, I can take more. I take one day and I say, this is my day for my business.
Yep.
Because what's so funny, as a brand and marketer, this was my first year branding myself. That sounds crazy to be a brand and marketer. So you see how you gave me the information? You got to understand, most times, people that give you information, they're helping so many people, they never help themselves. Yeah. This was my first year I focused on myself, and that's how I ended up getting $1 billion clients. So I literally listened to myself this year and branded myself even more like I'm a client to myself, not just this is what I do. I always did that. But I literally branded myself, but I took the time out to say, all right, clients, Wednesday is my day. And if you do that, what happens, you go to those clients, hey, Wednesday, I made 50 sales last month. I'm going to go to all 50 and say, hey, guys, can you leave me a testimonial? Yeah. But make it easy. Hey, go to this link, leave your testimonial. Yeah. Boom.
Hey, most of y'all still doing it in the field, right? In homes? Yeah. Most of y'all?
Yeah,
I mean, they could be right there.
Right, yeah. Hey, here's my Facebook. Yeah. Write me a testimonial. You know why it's good to work with me. Yeah. But do that. Always focus on, make the money. But if you don't do that, what happens, just like he said, you're like, I'm a $1 billion producer. But you don't have no brand. No one can tell that you did it.
Yeah.
And when it's time to relax, or you don't want to work as hard and you're trying to build a team to say, hey team, this is what I've done. Yeah. You don't have any kind of trail of paperwork to say, this is what I've done.
And in fact, even now in today's age, inside the company, people don't know what y'all are doing. Mm-hmm. It's so big. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So as you're starting to build, y'all don't get the attention that some of us got years ago because of the size. It's normal to produce what's y'all top, the people doing it everywhere. I mean, and honestly, there's plenty of them doing that too. Mm-hmm. But he stands out a little more. Of course. But he ain't the only one. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a dozen people doing what in the ballpark of what he's doing. You know what I mean? So even that isn't standing out like everyone kind of expects it now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's harder and harder to stand out. So as we start getting people coming in, y'all aren't individually getting as much recognition as maybe we got years ago because of the size, which I got promoted a lot because of the entry point in the company and the size it was. It seemed more impressive than it really was due to the size.
No, but you brought a lot of value and helped them see
things
that they couldn't see.
No, I get that. But I'm saying, y'all can get lost in the volume of people today.
Big time.
So you have to stand out in your own personal way, and that will also help you in the long run with recruiting as well. Yeah. Because you will stand out from the same messaging that most people are putting out there. Does that make sense?
And we're seeing that firsthand. Me and my wife being number 5 in the company and seeing 450 agents. Like in the beginning, it was like only like 10 people, and we're like, yeah. We're on yachts, we're on jets, we're on this, and now it's like, wait, where did you guys go this weekend? You guys went somewhere? Because that's how it is, and as it grows, and we even see, we'll have all-star team leaders. They were like, yeah, and next thing you know, you get a better guy that comes along, and he's like, what's up? I'm here, and you're like, that's my new guy now. And then another new guy comes, and you're like, wait, what is going on? Yeah. And I even told my wife, because I've actually built systems for Ashton Henry. He has about, Ashton has 160,000 people on his downline. Wow. Yes, so he's a monster out of Miami. And the funny thing is, before I started with that client, I built his system, back-end systems. So I kind of understood what to do. And what I saw was, you have to, if you're a team leader here, you have to understand your team and build accordingly. Mm-hmm. You got to put your time with your superstars, your okay producers, and the headaches. You got to control them, but give them things to keep them busy, right?
Yeah,
because if you don't, you don't grow. And if you don't, you're wasting a lot of time because it's going to come so fast. Who you think a superstar now on your team, you're going to get 10 of those people. Yeah. If you're a recruiter. And you're going to be like, man, this is amazing. Like, I have a Spanish team. So I'm the guy that started the Spanish leg of the company. So you know how that goes. These guys, they'll recruit 100 people in one day. It was to a point where we didn't even know we had 32 people in one guy until he was like, hey, I just called my leader. They told me we have 32. And I'm like, bro, how did this happen? Because when you're bringing on brokers, they're bringing on like 30 plus people, and then they're starting to talk to their people and build. So understand, like he's saying, to stand out, you got to keep going. Yeah. And my team is able to keep going because what we do, every other week we're doing a photo shoot. He said every other week we're doing a photo shoot. Every other week we're taking our own money and doing different things, like having our own events. We're not waiting for the company to say, let's do a rally event or, whatever. We're doing our own because you're staying in front. And then what happens, the company sees you, they're like, man, we're going to do that too. Yeah. But now they look at you with value, like, man, you're doing something. So always think about whatever you're doing, try to do it yourself as well and not just wait for the company to do it. Like, especially in business, we know it's like entrepreneur, you got to invest to build. If you think you're just going to keep your money and when you make deals, go buy great things, you can. But guess what happens? Your business doesn't grow. It's hard to keep going. Yeah. So make sure you always, to be that superstar, I get that attention, you always investing, or if you're not investing, you got to think outside, color outside those lines. Yeah. What can I do to stand out that no one's doing? What can I do different or do on my own to stand out? So that's big.
So we got, hold on one second. So we got like 15 minutes.
Okay.
So you control if you want to do this or ask questions.
I think I want to ask questions because we did very good in the beginning, and I see my wife on the right here. So I want to ask questions.
Feel it.
I know. I can feel it, bro. I want this to be impactful for everyone, and I want you guys to be able to ask questions, and I answer these questions for you.
So you're posting your personal stuff on your business page and your personal page? And
you want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to tell you the fake news?
No, I want the truth.
The truth is you can almost build your personal page and never post on your business page. I actually sell more on my personal. I don't even my business is there to be there. What I've done on my business page, because I'm different, I do branding and marketing, I connected with my Instagram, so anytime I post on Instagram, it posts on Facebook. But I use my personal page and it builds all my stuff. Yeah. But you can run ads on that business page is good for running ads and things of that nature.
And it's never like weird? You never think it's weird?
Which weird?
She's clearly uncomfortable putting herself
out there. I already know. A lot of people are. It's not. You ready for this?
Yeah.
It's not weird when the money flows in. Okay. So that's what you got to think. Whatever your goal is, cool. The weirder you want to be, the more. And everyone has a different goal. Everyone doesn't have to be about money. If you are personal space and you don't, but you can hone in your message so it doesn't feel pushed, right? It's more of, oh, that's awesome. I love cats. And you talk about cats, whatever it may. I know you don't. I'm just saying. She's like, no. But it doesn't have to be pushy to where you're posting too much, right? Like, I got a foot fungus. You don't have to say that, but I would. I would. I would. Yeah.
And no different than anything else. I'm telling you guys, like, y'all can't do like I do. You can't be me at home. You can't be her. Yep. Y'all can't be him necessarily. Just do you. It's the method and the style and the frequency and the consistency is what I'm hearing.
And I'm so comfortable with myself. Yeah. I can say anything because I have that much faith in myself. And my wife is like, you're crazy. Why did you say that? I'm like, because I am crazy and I don't care. Oh, I just got a new lead for that. So that's what you got to understand. Yeah, it's different.
Thank you.
Y'all got anything else?
Anything.
I see it boiling over there, Amy.
There's no dumb question, guys. I'm
just start with one.
Yeah.
Okay, from a recruiting standpoint, like I've been in this industry for 7 years.
Okay.
I have very much liked on the recruiting side because I was more focused at first becoming the top producer in the company. So a lot of my warm market, all that, saw how hard I worked. They saw it. So it's hard for me to bring in those kind of people. So I've hired different recruiters, and I don't know, I guess from a standpoint where I'm tired of running. I want to build this thing. I want to help others.
Man, it's crazy what she said.
Pointers as to what.
You're preaching to me trying to ask a question, just so you know.
Yeah.
So what's so funny, and my wife is shaking her head, I preach what you're talking about. I told people, we have agents that came on and they're just selling real estate. And I said, that's good. But guess what happens when you get older and you don't want to do that anymore and you don't have a team? And I tell people you can never beat a team. Yeah. Even in sports, a complete team will beat one superstar every day, all day. I don't care if you got, because you only have 24 hours. If you got a team of And a lot of people, you have to balance both of them, right? And you hire recruiters to recruit for you. What happens? They're not passionate like you. A recruiter is not going to come in and be as passionate as what you do. What you have to do is be you have to be very real with your messaging and who you are, and don't be afraid to tell people what it took for you. And then what you say is, what I produce, I can help you the same way. Join my team and let me show you how. But also what you need to do before you even do that, put it on paper, that system of, this is how I got there. I don't care if it's 50 door knocks per week, I don't know what it may be. Because then when they come in, you have a system to say, this is the system, do it, go. Next, because what's gonna happen if you're like, let me walk with you today. Now you don't have time for the other guy, like, hey, I thought you were gonna help me too. Yeah. And after a while, if you baby everybody, you're gonna have to baby the whole process. Yeah. But if you give them a paper and say, this is what I did, if you do this, and just keep in contact with me, I do 2 group meetings a week or whatever it may be, just to get that team together. Mm-hmm. That is really how you're gonna do it, and that's how we built our team to 150 in 90 days, because people seen my brand and marketing experience, and I was like, come with me, I'm gonna help you do the same thing. And now every time my agent posts something like, thank you, Will, for everything you do, because we're consistent and we really care. You have to really care, and they can feel that. Yeah. Curse word, insert. They can feel that when you really care. If you're faking it and like, come on, team, they're like, man, shut up. Yeah. Like me and my wife, we do it like every Monday we go live and we talk to them and say, hey guys, this is what's coming up. This is what we need to do. Let's have family day. Let's be real genuine with them, and really, if you're not that kind of person, don't try to be. But what I'm saying is be who you are and give what you can of who you are, and watch what happens in recruiting. You won't be able to turn it off, because you're gonna attract your people. Everyone has a tribe that's waiting for you. It's because everyone is not the same. Like you said, John has a person, like me and John is similar, that energy, that go. So we're attracted to each other, but you may not have. So you're like, those guys, I do not want to hang around those guys, right? But we're going to attract others that are just like us. And they're going to be like, hell yeah, let's go, Will. So attract your tribe and continue to dominate. You can't hire that. I promise you can't hire it, unless you got a lot of money. You can't hire that.
That's my favorite thing you've said, because we've been saying that for week after week, and they're sick of hearing it. I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't set none of this up.
I promise. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I got nervous when he started saying, like, I wonder what he's going to say.
Yeah, you can't hire that. No, you just
I'm glad we got that on film.
Yeah, you can't hire that. I promise you guys. You can't hire who you are. You can try, but it never happens. The one hand back there, I saw
Heather, you had a question.
I sort of do.
Uh-huh.
When you were building your team, and you were searching for people in social media, did you initially reach out to them for a pitch?
You repeat the questions.
And so what you said was, when I was recruiting my people for my team, was I reaching out on social media for those people?
Or did you do the long game, just let them watch and see what you were doing?
Oh no, so this has been recent, as John knows. I think January we just started the company. We didn't even have a contract or a website, so this is new. I actually kind of did the opposite. I didn't even use, I used social media to show what I'm doing. What I did the flip way, I went after certain people that I knew could build or had a following. So I talked to them one-on-one, and I supported them as much as possible. Every rally, hey, I empowered them to be like me, and I focused on them.
So you headhunted people.
Oh man, I headhunted. So, and when I headhunted good people, and they became, so now he's recruiting 20. And I'm not worried about recruiting. Then what happened is slowly I'd be like, hey, I'm looking for, because I can worry about the quality people. And
What did you headhunt? Like, what did you search?
No, I didn't start, I knew. See, I have a big network, right? So I knew, like, this guy is good. I know this guy is good. I know this guy is good. But you can do the same thing.
You're paying attention to the industry. You understood, yeah.
I promise you, if you just listen to what I'm about to tell you now, you go to the industry, just go on social media or Google, just say, like, whatever your insurance is, just say it. It's going to list the top people that keep talking about it. Don't go to the top, because you already know they're going to be like, come on. But you never know. Believe me, I'll talk to anyone. Go to those people that you see, that low-hanging fruit. Hey, I see you. I'd love to talk to you about this opportunity I have, boom, boom, boom. And you keep a list. Please keep a list, guys. Get that spreadsheet. I talked to Whitney today. So what you do, you look at that list, because you may forget to follow up. And that follow-up, like a agent came to a week ago. My wife wasn't there. I was there. I didn't even know she was going to be there. I talked to her. And my wife, I said, hey, text her your number on Instagram, because my wife started doing it. Text, and she didn't even see the message. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't even see this. I'm joining today, actually. Boom, because of the follow-up, right? So just follow up with those individuals. But make your own list and headhunt if you want to. If you're not known, I'll go find the best of the best. I like to go to the best of the best. And I get no. My first week, I was going after agents with like 20-some agents, and I didn't know shit about real estate. And they were like, how do you get paid? And I was like, give me a minute. Hey, this is literally on the phone. She was there. I was like, man, how do we get paid? What are the breaks? Like 80-20? And they were looking at me, but I still was trying. I didn't care. And I almost had them, right? But you have to do that. Of course, you've been in it a long time, so you know those things to ask. So make your own list. If you don't know a lot of people, make your own list, but always start with your sphere of people that you do know, and they're with other companies. Never think you don't feel uncomfortable talking about an opportunity that you're serious about. Yeah. If you guys believe how I know you believe in family first life, right? And family first, if you believe in that whole concept, you're not afraid to talk to anybody. I don't care who it is. PHP, himself, you know. So don't be afraid to talk to anybody, because you never know who you're going to convert. We got a big mean Friday. I can't talk about it, but it's with a monster, and we thought we could never talk to these people. I told my buddy, one guy hit me up and said, talk to this person. I hit my buddy up and said, can you talk to this person for us? Put us in a meeting. When we land, we're going straight to a private meeting to talk to a headhunter. And I'm just there because of the third referral, but they'll be joining my team if they do. So that's the kind of thing don't never be scared to headhunt, guys.
Yes, two-part question. First one would be Facebook ads versus Google ads. Do you have a preference?
Google ads is very expensive. So if you don't have deep pockets, I wouldn't do Google ads. Not starting off. Okay. Google ads is when you're established, you're done, you're just trying to, like, you don't care about money. I'm messing with him, he cares about money. But that's for big time people. But even to me, I know it's kind of a waste, because with social media ads like Facebook, Instagram, you can get so much for your value. I know you listen to Gary. If you listen to Gary Vee, the amount of money I spent $100 in an ad and reach like 70,000 people. Yeah. Where can you spend $100 anywhere and reach? Even if those people are just seeing it, that is way, and Google Analytics or whatever, they click on it one time, like $350, thank you. And that could have been just a spam person or your baby mama or something clicking on it. And you don't pay $2,000, you're like, man, I'm hitting today, and then like no leads coming through. So I would stick with social first. When the money starts flowing, you can be more specific.
Okay. And you like doing the click funnels too on Facebook?
Yeah, no, and just always have, and if you're doing any kind of marketing, guys, always have a funnel. That's the whole purpose, right? When you're running an ad, don't just run an ad like, hey, I'm Willie Carey. You may say, hey, I'm Willie Carey. Click here to sign up for my subscription list, or click here to win free tickets. Always have that, because you're always, when you're marketing, you're always trying to get something in return, right? You're not just marketing to look cool or get likes. I'm gonna tell you, don't focus on the likes, focus on the back end stuff, because I did festivals where I ran a campaign that may have 50 likes, but I sold 1,000 tickets. Yeah. That means more than 10 likes. So never care about the likes, and even comments, engagement, care about the back end stuff. How many leads hit that? Because you can see it, say 500 leads went to your link or whatever. Yeah. Look at that and try to prove that so that you can gather more leads.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
You got one more?
When you're just starting to build your brand and you are a drop in the ocean, how do you stand out from everybody else? Do you focus on, let me make sure my graphics are sharp, let me make sure my visuals are good? Do you focus on just pouring out the outreach?
You already, you said it that first. You make sure you look good. So I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If you never did your brand before, as soon as you do that flyer like that says your name and you have your photo on there, your whole friends are gonna be like, oh my God, congrats. This looks so amazing. That starts your brand of who you are. After they do that, you never put your foot off the gas. Oh, thank you. And you just keep with the content, it looks good. Because when people like to invest and do things that look good, and because they trust you more if it looks good. If it looks like you just like threw up a picture and tried to put your name over it, they're like, that looks so horrible. And they won't tell you. They'll just be like, this is nice. And they're like, oh my God, I'd never buy insurance from that person. And that's really what they're saying. When the brand looks good, you don't got to pay a lot, right? When the brand looks good and looks professional and clean, they trust you more, because they're like, man. Like I bought the glasses that I'm wearing from this one guy from the mall. I went and I was like, hey brother, do you have another pair of these glasses? And I show him my profile. He said, who is that? I was like, me, bro. He was like, how do you look like celebrity? I was like, what are you talking about? Because of how my branding looked. He was like, you look so good, how did you do it? And he was like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, bro, calm down. But because how he saw my brand, he was like, man, you look good. You know, and those are my glasses and they look better. Yeah. But that's what you have to do. When you look good, people, they gravitate towards it. If you don't, you just have a hard time. You got to sell hard. But if you look good, I promise you guys, people will come just because of how you look. Oh, I love your brand. Your message is consistent. You know, no matter what it is, just keep that message going and that look always the same. That's why you see me coming with my glasses. I look the same all the time. Yeah. People know, like, oh, you must be the Will guy. You look just like you always have to look like that person. Cool. It's like a character. Become that character, guys. Don't be scared.
I appreciate you coming up, dude.
Anytime, brother.
Blast, my man.
Anytime.
We're going to wrap. If y'all got questions, certainly he'll be around
for
a little while.
Appreciate your time, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.